Hello, this is Sam from RagnonGaming.com, and we have a Warhammer 40,000 battle report today. Today it is Dark Angels versus Blood Angels. We will be playing a 2,000 point battle using the Eternal War Retrieval mission. Let's go ahead and go over the battlefield real quick. We've got 4 objectives. One is right here, another is right here, one is right there, and then one is in the tower over there. We are playing a pretty terrain-dense board. This is a cityscape, ruined cityscape. We'll treat everything as being +1 cover as long as you're standing on the boards for each of the buildings. Going over the army lists real quick. We've got the Dark Angels. Please pardon the fact that it's not painted. I very rarely play a full Deathwing army, but we're going to be trying it out. So right here, we've got a Vanguard detachment. The HQ, that is the Warlord, is going to be Belial. This is the old Terminator Captain, metal Terminator Captain model. That's going to be a count as Belial. And then we also have an Interrogator Chaplain and Terminator armor. And then we've got 2 squads of Deathwing Terminators. One is a shooty squad with 2 Cyclone missile launchers, 7 guys with storm bolters and fists, and the sergeant. Over here we have a melee squad of Terminators. We do have 2 assault cannons in here. They are not running the chain fists that are on their model. They just have power fists. Sergeant with a power sword, and then I've got 3 Lightning Claw models and 4 Thunderhammer Storm Shield models. We have a Land Raider Crusader. It is not running the Melta gun, the multi-Melta, but everything else is WYSIWYG on it. And inside that we have Deathwing Knights. Got 5 models of those. Also in the Land Raider, or maybe not, I haven't decided yet, will be the Apothecary, Deathwing Apothecary. And this is going to be a Deathwing Ancient with a Thunderhammer Storm Shield. And that is our 2,000 points of Deathwing.
Alright, here is the Blood Angels. First off, we have, let me focus, Captain Slamginius. That power sword is going to be a power hammer. He has a Gift of Foresight. He's going to have the Angel Wings and a Thunderhammer. Next up, we will have our Librarian. He's just running a bolt gun and a force sword. And then we have our Librarian Dreadnought, who is awesome. He has a Fruzo Fist and Storm Bolters. Next up over here, we have 2 scout squads. One kitted out in snipers and camo cloaks. The other one is 4 bolt guns and then one with a heavy bolter. Then we have a 5-man squad of tactical marines. The sergeant, I have him in the wrong spot, that has a special weapon of a grav gun. Oh no, he's there, right at the end. And then another 10-man tactical marine squad, which has a heavy bolter. Then we have our Vanguard veterans. They will also all have jump packs. They're mixed. They're all should be as they see. So we got one with dual lightning claws, 2 with power fists, one with a force axe, and one with a force sword, or power sword, and power axe. Then we have a Devastator squad, which is rocking 4 missile launchers and a combi plasma. And then we have 3 groups of 5 of Death Company. They are all chain swords and bolt pistols, except for the sergeants, which have power fist.
They're wearing Death Company t-shirts underneath their armor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they just felt the Black Rage, so they haven't got their armor painted yet.
Okay, gotcha. Just happened.
Just happened.
This just in.
Then we have a Bale Predator. It has a Flamestorm cannon, and it will also have, that's not on it, 2 heavy flamers and a Storm Bolter. Then we have over here some more vehicles that we found that are totally not Space Wolves. A Whirlwind with a Whirlwind Vengeance Launcher, and then a Razorback with twin heavy bolters, and a Rhino that will have 2 Storm Bolters. And that is the Blood Angels that'll be playing tonight.
So Lee was able to choose the deployment type, and he picked Hammer and Anvil. I placed my Land Raider down as far forward as I could, And inside of there is the 5 Deathwing Knights, the Interrogator Chaplain, Deathwing Ancient, and Deathwing Apothecary. And that was my deployment. in reserves, ready to deep strike in, I've got the Shooty Terminator Squad, Belial, and the Combat Terminator Squad. For his deployment, we've got the Dreadnought up here. Again, this is armed with missile pod and las cannon?
Yeah, twin las cannon and the missile launcher.
Okay. Missile launcher,
pod.
twin las cannon. Devastators here, and those all have
3 of them have
missile launchers.
bolter, and then the sergeant has a combi plasma.
Okay. Rhino with the tac squad inside. Razorback with a
Librarian and a 5-man squad.
okay. Bale Predator.
Yep.
Is that everything? Whirlwind.
Hiding back here, and the Librarian sneaking around the corner.
Hello. All right, and that is the end.
The scout squads.
Oh yes, the scout squads. We got a speed bump little unit right here, bravely laying down their life to slow down the Land Raider. And then we've got a little scout squad with camo cloaks in here, blending in. That's the end of the deployment. Let's roll to see who goes first. I get +1 to my roll because I was deployed first. 4 and a 1.
I think you go first.
I think I will. On to Dark Angels, turn 1.
Let's see if I can see.
Oh, seizing. Oh, no! Okay. Well, Blood Angels, turn 1. Here we go. End of the movement phase for the turn 1 of the Blood Angels. Everything shimmied up just a little bit. The scouts shimmied up to form a blockade there. The vehicles moved up here. Scouts stayed still. The Rhino did a Tokyo drift and came up just a little bit. Librarian snuck out from his sneaky corner, and that is the end of the movement phase. We're on to Psychic phase for the Blood Angels, turn 1. End of turn 1 Psychic phase for the Blood Angels. The Librarian Dreadnought cast Wings of Sanguinius and moved up 12 inches more. So we are on to the shooting phase for turn 1 Blood Angels. End of the shooting phase for Blood Angels, turn 1. Everything shot at their only target, the Land Raider. Brought it down to 5 wounds remaining. Most of those were from the missile launchers, the Dreadnought. The snipers did inflict a mortal wound with their sniper rifles, so that was pretty cool. Sorry, those sniper rifles. Those are just regular scouts. So yeah, effective shooting phase. We've got 5 wounds remaining on the Land Raider Crusader. We're moving on to turn 1 for the the Dark Angels. End of the movement phase for Dark Angels, turn 1. I had a couple squads that deep struck. We had our melee squad that deep struck 9 inches away from the Bale Predator here. And then over here we had the Shooty Terminators that deep struck. Auspex scan happened, and the Devastators did kill 1 model. We need to check the wording though, because I was going to use my my Deathwing Assault, and it happens immediately when they're set up, so I'm not sure the priority on that. We'll resolve that in just a second. I'm going to finish the shooting on them in a moment. And then the Deathwing Knights get out here. They moved out there 8. The Land Raider also moved up. It's 5 since it's bracketed. Also getting out is the Interrogator Chaplain, the Apothecary, and the Deathwing Ancient. So they are out there 8 total inches. Everything's on the table now, so kind of a smaller army, but and we got a lot of reserves coming in for the Blood Angels. Yes. Not on the board yet is still all the Death Company Assault, and then the squads in the transports. So lots to come in still. So we'll go ahead and resolve that shooting from the Deathwing Terminators over there with their Deathwing Assault stratagem, spending 3 command points. End of the I guess the movement phase. We did figure out that the two stratagems. So he used Auspex Scan, and I used Deathwing Assault. The wording on both of them is that they happen immediately. So we're playing it as if they're resolved at the same time. So even if I had killed models, they still get to shoot at me, and vice versa. So I lost that Terminator, but I still got to shoot him for my stratagem. So with that shooting, we were able to kill all but 2 of the Devastators. So still the Sergeant with the combi plasma and a missile launcher. And then the Cyclone missile launcher shot up and took 5 wounds off the Dreadnought. So it's down to 3 remaining. Pretty good for the movement phase. I'm down to 1 command point left though. So we are on to the shooting phase for the Deathwing. End of the shooting phase for the Dark Angels turn 1. This squad shot their 2 assault cannons over and took 1 wound? 1 wound. 1 wound off the Bale Predator, so you're down to 10. Over here, the Land Raider Crusader shot everything into the Scout Squad and just barely killed them with its bracketed hit chance. The squad here shot, there's only 2 models that can shoot, the Chaplain and the Apothecary. They tried to shoot at the Rhino because that's all they can see and are within range. Didn't do anything. And then this squad shot up and killed 1 more of the Devastators, so it's just the Sergeant left with the plasma gun. And then the Cyclone missile launcher shot up and only dealt 1 wound and rolled a 1 for the damage. So the Dreadnought is down to 2 wounds remaining. So just hanging on by the skin of his
Coffin.
Yeah, coffin. I don't really think he has teeth anymore. Alright, so that is the end of the shooting phase. We're going to go ahead and try some assaults here. We're going to... Oh, a Bale Predator. I forgot you automatically hit. You're a flamer.
I think technically, though, if I'm out of range, I don't think I can overwatch you.
Oh, yeah, because it's a shorter range.
I don't know what the range is from the...
Probably like 24 inches.
I know one of them is long. The heavy flamers are 8, so that's out of the range.
Okay.
They're both 8, so yeah. You're technically outside of range, so I can't overwatch you.
Alright. We'll just roll to see if we're...
multi-charge, then I can do the twin heavy.
No, we're just going to try. So I'm 9 inches away, so I need an 8.
You need, well, you're 9.1 technically.
9.1, so I need a 9 to get in. Okay.
You got it.
Oh my goodness, that's a 12.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so we're in there, and we'll go ahead and charge the Whirlwind. Well, let's see if I'm even in range. Hold on. Yikes.
But I can overwatch.
It's like a 10. We're not going to do that. That's a little scary. No. But the Deathwing Knights over here, we're going to do something. They're going to go ahead and charge. Let's measure our ranges real quick. I was considering charging the scouts in here, but that's let's see, 8-inch charge to make it there, or we can charge this Razorback, and that is looks like a 7-inch charge. Sorry, no, that's an 8-inch charge if you're looking directly above. Yeah. What's this? That's a 9-inch charge. So we'll go ahead and do an 8-inch charge to the Razor. Yeah, we'll do the Razorback.
Razorback?
You can go ahead and do your Overwatch first.
Yeah, I think
I'll just roll and see if I made it.
Yeah.
That's oh, that was a 2. Yep, it was a 2. So
that makes it. This was 8 inches, wasn't it?
well, yeah, but it's 7. That's a yep, that's an 8. So we're in.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I
and
just
go ahead and
figure I can't remember what I equipped him with.
can't math tonight. All right, rolling his Overwatch.
Razorback like the ultra.
Twin heavy bolter.
Yeah, Twin Heavy Bolter is the base. 6 shots, hitting on 6s. It's pretty good.
2.
2.
So that is strength
5. Wounding me on 3s. All right, so 1
through,
wound, and it's -1, so we're looking at a 3-up and vulnerable anyways. Saves with a 4. All right, so we are in here, charged here, and then we'll go ahead and move and do the fight phase here. End of the fight phase. This squad wiped out the Bale Predator. Excuse me, and then consolidated and locked in the scouts. Scouts attacked back and did not do any wounds to the Terminators. Over here, the Deathwing Knights advanced and only dealt 6 wounds to the Razorback. unfortunately, none of the other characters rolled their charge range, so they are marooned back here. Go ahead and turn this guy around so he looks a little bit more responsibly positioned. So, dealing 6 wounds to the Razorback. This squad did not assault again because they were scared of the Overwatch from the Whirlwind, and it was a very long charge range anyways. So, end of the first turn for Dark Angels, the Deathwing. Doing morale for that squad. Feeling pretty good. We got first blood from killing the Bale Predator.
No, the Scout Squad.
The Scout Squad. And then we killed the Bale Predator. Locking in the Razorback as well, and the Scouts. We're feeling pretty good, but you got to remember that the Blood Angels have a bunch more to deep strike in, so not nearly their entire army's on the table right now. So might look a little more precarious after this second turn. So end of turn 1 for the Dark Angels. End of the movement phase for turn 2 of the Blood Angels. This squad got out of their Razorback within their 3 inches. This squad deep struck in. We have another Death Company squad that deep struck here outside of 9 inches, and then a third Death Company squad of.
Actually, it's 1, 2, 3, and that's a veteran squad.
Okay, sorry. 2 different squads of Death Company here, the outside of 9 inches. The third squad of Death Company, and then veterans. Nice. All right, end of the movement phase. The Librarian Dreadnought moved up just a little bit that way, and that is it for the movement phase. Anybody get out of this one?
No, that one's staying put for right now.
Okay, happy where he is. On to the Psychic phase for Blood Angels. End of the Psychic phase, the Librarian Dreadnought cast Wings of Sanguinius on himself, and what was the other thing?
I don't know what it's called, but it gives him D3 attacks, which gives 3 extra attacks.
Okay, so he has 3 extra attacks from that power. And then the Librarian over here tried to cast a 5-up invulnerable save on the Tactical Squad and failed that one. And then cast over on this one something that
was Blood Rage.
Unleash Rage, and yeah, that went off successfully. He did roll for perils, but he used a command point and reroll to avoid that. So they get +1 attack now. We're on to the shooting phase for the Blood Angels, turn 2. End of the shooting phase. So nothing could shoot at this squad because they're locked in combat. Same with the Deathwing Knights. So pretty much everything shot over here, except for the things that shot at the Land Raider. We'll talk about that first because I already looked at it. Land Raider's dead now. Shooting combined from the...
It was just the Dreadnought.
Just the Dreadnought. So MVP. Killed the Crusader. It did explode. I spent my last command point to avoid that. So I am out of command points, and it did not explode. Everything else, so the Death Company and the Plasma Gun, shot at this squad of Terminators and the Whirlwind, and actually did a fair bit of damage. They totally killed 3 models, so reducing the strength there. I do not have to take a morale check because they have the Inner Circle special rule. So that is it for shooting phase. We're going to go ahead and roll for our charges. Are you planning to charge?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go. Doing the charge phase. End of the charge phase. Slam Guineas did a nice little trick and used, what was that, a stratagem?
Descent of Angels.
Is that a stratagem or is that a word?
Yeah, it's a stratagem.
Okay, Descent of Angels. So he charged in. He has Fly. He was able to charge in and multi-charge Belial and the Terminator squad, and was not able to be shot with Overwatch. So he soaked up the Overwatch. One of the Death Company squads did successfully roll their charge range. This squad did not. This squad did not, and neither did the sergeant or the veterans over here. The Librarian, because of the power he cast earlier, Quickening, which gives him an additional D3 attacks, which he got 3 extra attacks, and +3 to his charge range.
Yep,
he rolled and multi-charged all 3 of these characters. So he's nestled in there, ready to take and receive deal and receive a beatdown. So we're on to the fight phase. Let's see how this all goes. End of the fight phase. Overall, a pretty good fight phase for the Deathwing. Over here, we'll start with his assaults first. So over here, he tried to assault Belial because of the parrying blade and some poor rolling. He only dealt 3 damage to Belial. So Belial was still standing with 3 wounds. everything turned and attacked Slam Guineas and killed him. No wounds were dealt from the Death Company because there's no AP, so I got my 2-up armor saves. So we're still locked in there. Over here, the Deathwing Knights were attacked by the snipers, which did nothing. The Deathwing, I don't know if I said Knights, Deathwing Terminators killed the scouts in return. And they also piled in and helped kill the tactical squad. So we killed 3 of the models there. We're not able to attack the librarian because he was not the closest model. So killed 3 of the tac squads, Marines, and then the Deathwing Knights. The Knight Master killed the Razorback, and so all the other attacks from the Deathwing Knights were lost. But they did consolidate in to lock in with the tactical squad. Over here, the Librarian Dreadnought tried to do like a spinning attack and wipe out all 3 characters. So he split his attack and did 2 attacks to each model. Again, he had 6 attacks because of, I think, his Blood Boil psychic power. So he split and did 2 attacks to each model. And I rolled really well on the Apothecary and saved 2 5-ups. So that saved him on his attacks. Nothing went through on the Deathwing Ancient, and he did deal 3 damage to the Chaplain, but they all survived. They all swang back, and the Librarian Dreadnought is reduced to a simple hat. And I guess I need to consolidate them towards the closest, so I'll go ahead and pile them in 3 inches towards, I guess that would be the Rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they would consolidate. I'll do that in a second once I shut off the camera. So that is it for the fight phase. We're on to turn, what is this, turn 2? Because you went first. That was turn 2. Turn 2 for the Dark Angels. It's been a very eventful game already in the first 2 turns. One more thing. We rolled morale for the tac squad, and he rolled a 6. He had lost 3 models, so that means 1 runs away.
Wait, no fear.
Oh yeah, you get to re-roll it.
Okay,
Okay, so still stays. Never mind. Scratch that. End of the movement phase. My 3 characters advanced. They moved around 9 and 10 inches, respectively, up to rejoin their compadres, the Deathwing Knights. The Apothecary used his Narthesium ability to regain D3 wounds to the Chaplain. I rolled a 6, so he gained his 3 missing wounds. So he's feeling good. He's back up to full strength. That's all I can move because everything else is locked in close combat. So because I've only got like 2 other squads on the table. I've got them.
You can technically move Belial.
Yeah. We'll move him around this away, 5 inches, so that he can charge and participate. All right. Or dare he take on this squad by himself?
I think you should dare.
I think I should dare.
Arjack.
No.
I mean,
he's a support character. All of the Dark Angels ones, there's not very many that are like beefy by themselves. They're all just supportive. Arjack would, but Arjack isn't here, is he? All right, so that's
He
the.
won last week.
He did win last week. Yeah, rubbing it in. All right, so here we go. That's the end of the movement phase. We're on to, I guess, the. Yeah, well, I think they can still shoot. They're going to shoot across here, and then they'll end up charging.
Who is shooting?
My 3 characters. Well, no, they advanced because they can't. So I can't shoot anything. We're on to the.
I guess Belial could.
Belial could, but they're well. He's going to pop a couple shots off. I'll just do that here. He's within 12 inches of that other squad. Shooting, hitting on 2s, wounding on 4s. That is 2 wounds to this squad here of Death Company.
3 ups.
Okay, they're fine.
They're fine.
Completely uneventful. We're going to go ahead and move on to the charge and fight phases. End of the fight phase. So the Knights attacked and killed the Librarian and the 2 remaining tactical squads. This squad did not get a chance to swing. Everything's going to stay right there. We don't want to consolidate any closer to him and give him a chance to attack us. And then over here, Belial and the Power Fists wiped out the remaining Death Company. So we're on to turn 3 for the Blood Angels. End of Blood Angels movement on turn 3. The veterans moved up. The Rhino, they got out and moved up a little bit, and the Rhino shimmied over just a bit. This squad moved up as close as they could to be outside of an inch of charging range. Same thing for the other Death Company unit. Did you end up moving that Razorback, or sorry, the Whirlwind? No.
I couldn't be cheeky.
Okay, no cheekiness. All right, so that's the end of movement. We're on to no psychic phase because both psychers are dead. We're on to the shooting phase for Blood Angels. End of the shooting phase for the Blood Angels. We had the let's see, this squad shot over here and took a wound off. I think that was also from the Whirlwind shot here.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, so one guy was down a wound. Over here, they all shot at the different characters. One of them shot at the Apothecary because he was closest. Didn't do anything. The rest of them shot at the Ancient and took off a wound. I think the Stormbolter also contributed to that. Over here, both squads shot, and also up here, just about everything right here. The Plasma Gun, Whirlwind, Las Cannon.
Yeah.
He shot here too?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
everything
shot. The only thing that shot here was this squad. Shot Belial.
Okay, so they shot Belial and did not do anything to him. Everything else shot at the Terminator squad, and you'll notice that it's quite a bit smaller. They killed 3 this turn, so all of the regular bolter guys are dead. We're just down to the Sergeant and the 2 Cyclone missile launchers and Belial. So we're on to the charging and fight phase now. End of the charge phase, the veterans charged just the Deathwing Knights, not attacking this squad, so no Overwatch from the Deathwing Knights. And then over here, both squads charged in. Belial shot and didn't deal any damage. The other squad shot and killed 1 of the Death Company. So this squad just charged Belial. This squad just charged the Terminators. So we're into the fight phase. End of the fight phase. So he attacked and wiped out a Knight. The Knight swang back and wiped out the squad. And so I've got 1 Deathwing Knight that's dead over here. Over here he attacked and he dealt a wound to the Sergeant. They swang back and killed 4 of the Death Company. Belial did not receive any wounds. He rolled 7 2-ups successfully, and then he swang back and killed 4 of the other Death Company. They both rolled their morale checks and were fine. So that is the end of the assault phase. So we're on to turn 3 for the Dark Angels. End of the movement phase. This squad could not move because they're locked in combat. This squad, the Deathwing Knights, moved over just a little bit, getting ready to assault, and this squad squished up where they could, hopefully also being able to assault. So we are now on to the shooting and then assault phase. Shooting phase first. End of the shooting phase, everything shot up at the tactical squad and killed 3 models. Okay, so 3 models down, we're on to the charging phase. End of the fight phase. Everybody attacked, wiped out the tech squad, and they were able to consolidate towards the nearest unit, so they consolidated to be on top of this objective. Belial swung over here and wiped out the last guy, and then consolidated to lock the Sergeant in close combat. The Sergeant rolled to attack Belial, needed 5s to hit, because -1 for Belial's parry rule, minus another one because of the Power Fist rule, and he rolled, didn't roll any 5s. So he's locked in close combat here. This squad was freed up. They can now be shot. It is now on to Blood Angels turn 4. And at this point, rather than moving on to turn 4 for the Blood Angels, we're going to go ahead and call it because we've got 3 units remaining, and it's the 4 units remaining, sorry. We got little guy there from the Devastator. 1 guy here locked in with Belial from the Death Company, the Whirlwind, and the Dreadnought with 2 wounds remaining. We kind of thought ahead for what would happen next turn. I've got an Deathwing Ancient here on this objective. This squad would split up. The big Terminator squad would move over here to try to control this, and then the Deathwing Knights would move over here to control this. And then this squad would try to continue wreaking some havoc over here. So he just doesn't have the units remaining to finish it off. So very good game. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so
it was fun.
Victor for the Dark Angels, and better luck next time for the Blood Angels.